I'm Ben Melander, and I'm going to give a talk on UFOs and extraterrestrials. Heck, we don't know what's true anymore. Maybe there are non human extraterrestrials living among us, or walk in people, or entities which take over someone. Like an author I read, Lobsang Rampa, was supposedly a Tibetan Lama who took over the body of a Canadian who was about to commit suicide or something. Yes, this Lobsang Rampa wrote books, The Third Eye, etc., about growing up in Tibet before the communist Chinese took over. Ra, another entity who was channeled, was supposedly an old soul who now lives in the fourth, fifth, sixth dimension density, who once lived as an inhabitant of Venus. Pamela Arlen, Elizabeth Prophet, others channel all sorts of dead people. Jesus, Mary, Dolores Cannon, who died not long ago and was a New Age author. I thought I saw someone on YouTube who had reddish eyes. He talked about UFO stuff. Was he an extraterrestrial? Non-human, huh? What about Roswell? There were supposedly non-human bodies taken from a downed spacecraft. There was supposedly a live non-human who gave the U.S. a lot of information on anti-gravity, etc. Supposedly the U.S. Has reverse engineered spacecraft or UFOs we have recovered. And some of the so-called UFOs we see in the sky are our own craft. Who knows? And something else. The thing about AI, artificial intelligence, we hear people talk on TV, even for quite a while, and we think, oh, it's some famous person, and it's not real. It's a fake. I heard Donald Trump play guitar and sing on you. I sound pretty good, but it's completely fake. Stephen Greer says the U.S. has technology right now which makes solar, gas engines, even use of nuclear power obsolete. So-called free energy, like Nicholas Tesla once talked about, which no one is allowed to develop, but because companies, oil, gas, or industrial base would lose trillions of dollars if it were developed. There have been hearings in Congress lately, the Senate, which have been broadcast with people like David Gersh, former U.S. Air Force intelligence officer, talking about spacecraft, alien spacecraft, which have been reverse engineered. There's a whole industry devoted to the idea that the world is on the brink of a world war of us versus them, that the space people are out to destroy us and we have to fight them, which is ridiculous. If they are as advanced as we say they are, they could wipe out every civilization on Earth in minutes. Then you think about Jesus, Mary, Buddha, and what they are saying and being channeled by people like Pamela Arlen, Elizabeth Prophet, Edgar Casey. Are they holding back and not talking about non-human civilizations on other planets? They must know. I guess they're afraid. It would freak people out. Well, if there are other civilizations from other planets, then Jesus isn't the only Son of God. Ra talks about the law of one, how there is a universal God who has always been, who sort of runs the show. Then there are subordinates, like he says the God entity that governs our part of the galaxy has a predilection for kindness. He also says about good and evil, that there is basically service to self or service to others. Service to others tends toward good. Service to self tends toward evil. He has a whole chapter. There are 5 books in the Ra series on evil. That when people evolve into the fourth dimension or density, after hundreds of reincarnations, 9/10 of them become ascended masters or something, and 1/10 of them become sort of agents of evil. Everything is for them is power. They serve the strongest power. They are slaves and eventually fight to become masters. It takes thousands of years, and eventually they graduate into the sixth dimension and are no longer enslaved by evil forces. They become agents of good, God-serving, and loving others and what is good. I think this UAP thing is going to explode. They are obviously basic way stronger than and more advanced than we are. We've got to stop fearing and fighting them and join them, as Stephen Greer is saying. If that happens and we join and become another planet in the Space Confederation, or are allowed to become part of the Space Confederation, since we are such a violent planet, and perhaps we can be allowed to have free energy, lots more power, since we probably use it to spread our power politics evil to other planets. So we have to change. At any rate, perhaps this is by far the most interesting and important thing happening in our world today, right now. The people, entities like Ra, or the person from the Pleiades that Barbara Marciniak channeled, or others, aren't strange at all. If they were to take human form, suddenly appear on TV, maybe they look a little strange. Where are you from? They would be interesting to talk to, and probably familiar with our music, movies, culture, and perhaps be able to expose us to some other planets' music, culture. And then that might not be all that different from ours. Who knows? Enough. Thank you.